A Springfield study finds 1 child out of 5 lacks the social, emotional, and basic academic skills expected when they first go to school. Administrators say resources are thin and the need continues to grow. Chalkboards are out, smart boards are in. Point to the dinosaur for me. Preschool is a different game than it was just 10 years ago.
The world is very different now. It's not the same kind of work environment that we're dealing with. It's not the same kind of culture that we're dealing with. And so the expectations in the K-12 system are significantly higher than they were when you or I might have gone to kindergarten.
A few years ago, what we would have seen in first grade or kindergarten is now coming even lower down into preschool.
We have kids in classes right now that will have jobs in the future that don't even exist right now because technology is constantly changing, and the way that our world is changing, we have to stay right on top of that.
Training tomorrow's students means knowing how to spell your name, some of your 1, 2, 3s, and all of your ABCs before kindergarten.
How old are you? You're 4 and you know all your ABCs?
Educators say kids should also know how to conduct themselves. In Anixa preschool, kids practice good hygiene.
Now, why do you cover your cough?
So it doesn't spread the whole class and they don't get sick.
While basic academic and social skills might not seem like a big challenge, educators say it's critical to build a solid foundation before kindergarten.
What are those numbers?
6 and 3.
What we do know that we didn't know then is about 90% of a child's brain development occurs before age 5, and so we're missing out on an essential piece of brain development.
For nearly 30 years, Springfield Schools has helped kids be ready to learn through parents as teachers, the Wonder Years, and special education services. All are supported by federal and state funding. Wonder Years is a preschool for qualified families with academically at-risk kids.
Just felt like she needed some extra help that I wasn't able to help her with. And since she started the Wonder Years program, it's been a huge improvement. She's definitely prepared for kindergarten, and she's so excited about it.
Last year, Wonder Years had 24 classrooms. Now that's down to 17. Funding and a growing school district are to blame.
We're out of space.
With no room and limited funds, a group has formed a coalition called the Every Child Initiative. It's exploring ways to help each Springfield child.
I really think many of our students don't have what I would call fair opportunity to learn.
Springfield School Superintendent Norm Ritter considers early education a priority. He says the coalition is aimed at filling the gap, helping families who don't qualify for services and cannot afford high-quality preschool.
May have a totally different dimension or a look than you're going to find in a typical community in some other parts of the country.
If we work together, that we could meet the needs of all of the families within Springfield.
We traveled to Springdale, Arkansas on a learning expedition to show you what's working in this community.
What kind of cereal do you think we have the most of?
They wouldn't have a quality pre-K if we weren't here.
Okay, does anyone else have a heart?
No.
There was a need and folks stepped up to the challenge.
And a lot of our kids leave here reading, and they're at the top of the kindergarten classes, and then as we track our kids, we find that they stay in the top of their classes.
Kindergarten teachers literally fight over the students that come out of that program.
Gold. Leprechauns have pots of gold.
For 7 years, Springdale's preschool program has filled the gap by making sure all students are prepared for kindergarten. The program targets low-income families.
Because it prepares them so much more. My oldest son didn't have any preschool, and he is behind. But my 6-year-old had been here last year, and he is about a year ahead.
Do you remember that story?
Springdale is just a few miles north of the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. It has a high Hispanic population, and many families use English as a second language.
I just wanted him to be prepared.
Jacqueline Munoz's 5-year-old son, Jordan, is ready ready for school.
Now that he's been coming to pre-K, he's learned more English, and he's also teaching his dad.
A population that's typically underserved is now getting the chance for success.
Well, he's saying that one of the great things that he's noticed, talked about the fact that one of them wants to be an architect and the other one wants to be a doctor. So they're being exposed to these things, and they actually are striving to achieve these accomplishments for themselves.
Can you spell your name?
J-A-L-A.
Preschool is the most important time in a human being's life.
That's the mindset, but they've come a long way.
No, it wasn't embraced totally when it was first implemented.
The babies on the bus go win.
Arkansas has what's called a Better Chance program. The state will put up about half the money for a preschool if the district foots the rest. At Springdale, the school district does pay a portion, but so do community partners. Walmart is a big supporter. Educators say making a preschool like this means the entire town has to be involved.
We also have to have schools ready for children, and communities ready for children, and parents ready for children. Everybody has to be ready to learn.
Can you tell me what are some more healthy foods?
Apple. Clean up.
There are other building blocks in the school's success story. All teachers are certified.
Okay, let's put a timer on.
Iceberg.
Kids have classroom time and playtime 5 days a week.
Kids spend more than 2 hours every day in these centers. Educators say it really helps them with structure, and it also teaches them social skills. What are you playing with?
But perhaps the biggest factor,
Tell Mama bye and thanks for helping us out.
parents play a key role.
I would tell parents that they're not just going to send their children to school, but they're going to go to school with their children.
Parents are required to spend time helping in the classroom. They must attend parent-teacher conferences. The mission is to give all children a chance with community support.
It makes a difference that I cannot express to you, but it's a difference that is critical, and every child is deserving of that opportunity.
1, 2, 3, 4.
They're only 4 years old, but teachers believe this is their big chance.
We can either set the stage for learning and for the love of learning, or we can destroy it.
Are you going to go to kindergarten next year?
Yes, I am.
Catching things early. There are a lot of times when we notice students who in the later grades are struggling with different things where we'll trace back and find that they didn't have preschool or they didn't have some kind of early childhood education experience.
Research shows children, even at the age of 3, benefit from preschool. Some experts say our education system should change. If children started school when they were 4, more would graduate from college and fewer would end up behind bars.
And we'd see a total shift in the way that children come out of the whole school system.
Look at the lion.
Some school districts in the Ozarks are leading the way in providing early childhood education. Nixa Schools has one of the best programs in the state. Still, a lack of funding means not every child is given this chance for success.
We have extensive waiting lists every year for our programs and would love to be able to meet the need of the community. We have definitely way more kiddos that want to come here than we can serve, but we just don't have any space.
In fact, 200 Nixa kids are on a waiting list for only 60 spots. Other programs are not expanding and instead cutting back. A sequester is forcing OCAC Head Start leaders to eliminate nearly 200 spots.
If you learn, you have good opportunities. If you don't learn anything, you don't have nothing. I pray every day that my kids can do better.
We've got lots of classrooms where kids are on the waiting list and they're never going to get into Head Start, even though their family qualifies.
Back in 2005, there was a push to provide early education to low-income families in Greene County through a sales tax called the Community Safety Initiative. It failed.
We need to take responsibility as a community. It breaks your heart. I mean, it's not fair. There's no fairness in the notion that 20% of our kids aren't going to have a chance.
It's depressing, and I think it also correlates very highly with the dropout rate at the other end.
A Springfield group has formed a coalition called the Every Child Initiative. It's exploring ways to help each Springfield child.
We need action. We need to do something.
The group plans to work with families, educators, and local businesses.
Everybody has a piece of the solution. We all need to be talking about this because how we take care of our children directly affects our economic development 15, 20 years out.